What's up, family? Am I clear?
Yeah.
What's up, family? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, tribe members, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Twitter, LinkedIn, wherever you at. Mars. Tell Lolly Dolly everybody, Prophet Ramonepreston and the Ramonepreston Show is live in the his house from Buckhead. I want you to hit that like button, hit that share button, tag somebody, tag Lolly Dolly everybody and let them know we're getting ready to talk about if in fact you are a part of a mastermind group. It's going to be good, y'all. Good afternoon, everybody that's coming on. Shout out to all of my entrepreneurs. Shout out to all of my ministers. Shout out to all of you that have amazing dreams and desires and ambitions and things that God has given you to do. My hope and expectation is that you're continuing to live in the manifestation of what God has given to you. Again, I want you to hit that like button, hit that share button, tag somebody, whether you're on Facebook. Shout out to all of our Facebook family members and friends. Whether you're on YouTube, shout out to all of my YouTube family members and friends. Whether you are on Periscope, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, any audio or video platform that you're on, I want to thank you so much for being a part of the Ramonepreston Show. This is the platform that God has given to us to use to provide economic information, economic education, training, deliverance, and breakthrough to the people of God. After almost 20 years of being in full-time pulpit ministry as a prophet of God in the church, the Lord shifted me in 2019 to resign as the pastor of the church that my wife and I planted, and to assume an apostolic role in ministry, but to also move in front of the pulpit to give the world what I personally gave my family and the people who were closest to me, which was education, information, training with regard to biblical economics. And now that we are in 2021, this is the fourth week that we've been hosting the Ramonepreston Show every Monday through Friday at 12 o'clock p.m., me and my squad. And we're just so excited about what God has been saying, number one, and what God has been doing as a result of what he's saying. Because anytime God is talking, let me just make that clear for all of my church folks. Anytime God is talking, it's because God is ready to start moving. There's never a time God is anticipating a move that he does not set that move off with a talk. And so when you hear the voice of God, whether it's spiritual, whether it's in regards to your personal life, your spiritual life, or even your economic life, when you start hearing from God, that means God is getting ready to move. And I truly believe that God has been setting a whole lot of y'all up for manifestations in 2021. So today I'm asking the question, are you part of a mastermind group? Are you part of a mastermind group? Now, you might not even know if you're part of a mastermind group, but I'm going to let you know what a mastermind is and how a mastermind group works in your life, not just as an individual, but even in your life as an entrepreneur, as a future entrepreneur, or just as an individual who wants to be the breadwinner and the financer of your family. Are you part of a mastermind group? And again, if you have any questions, please, especially those of you that are on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Twitch, Periscope, Twitter, LinkedIn, or whatever other platforms, if you're on those platforms and you're watching me live, please, if you have any questions, drop those questions in the comments. Listen, if you got comments or feedback, every time you hit that like button, every time you hit the share button, every time you comment and give feedback, every time you heart what I be saying, you are moving them algorithms so that when other people come on social media, guess who's going to pop up in their feed? Guess who's going to pop up in their timeline? Your boy, Prophet Ramone, and the Ramonepreston show. So that's why I love for all of you to interact and to participate in what we're doing. So today's discussion is centered around the question, are you a part of a mastermind group? Well, guess what? If you don't know, I'm going to make sure you know before this live ends. What'd you say? My sidekick over there is going back into the 90s. If you don't know, now you know. We is on a show today. We is not in the club. We is not in the club. So are you a part of a mastermind group? So I want to share with you what my version, what my perspective of a mastermind is, and how a mastermind should work and how it should look in your life as an individual. I'll segue into this discussion by saying one of the greatest blessings of my life, and I'm talking about my life just within the last 24 years, 23 and a half years of being saved. Now, prior to getting saved, I wasn't a part of no doggone mastermind group. I wasn't thinking about no mastermind group. Most of y'all who know what I'm talking about, when you in the world and you running the streets and you just living in sin, you ain't thinking about nothing most of the time. But from the time I got saved 23 and a half years ago, Saturday, October the 11th, 1997, from that time to this time, I can honestly say one of the greatest blessings of my life, of my saved life, of my Christian life for the past 23 and a half years has been the mastermind concept. Now, even though I didn't officially put myself in any mastermind groups, but the concept of a mastermind I saw acted out in circles that I was around, in the lives of people that I connected to. We are now in a more technological, intelligent, informed age or generation where we have a better understanding of what mastermind groups are, how they look, and how they work in our lives. But 23 and a half years ago, I didn't have a definition or a description or an understanding of a mastermind group. But as I look back the last 23 and a half years of my Christian life, I see where this concept played a major, major role. So as I start giving you the definition and the description of what a mastermind is, how a mastermind works, how it looks, and how you should integrate it into your life, you're going to start seeing that, oh, I might have already been a part of certain mastermind groups. But it's something about when you contextualize certain things that you're doing. I teach that a lot in business and in ministry, especially prophetic ministry, because a lot of people, they're doing these things, they have just not contextualized it, which means it really don't make sense to them until they learn about the concept and they realize, oh, I've been doing that for years. And so that's what I came into the knowledge of. That's what I came into the awareness of. And that's why I became such a proponent of this concept of a mastermind group. So let's begin by giving you a definition and a description of what a mastermind group is and how it works. A mastermind describes a human system of networks that work as inner circles of influence with multiple layers of relationships. Now again, everybody might have their own version of what a mastermind is. You can Google the word mastermind group and you're gonna have millions of versions and perspectives of what mastermind groups are. A lot of my perspectives, and that's why if you're saved, if you're a Christian, if you're prophetic, if you serving God and living your life in obedience to God, it's really important for you to learn certain things from the perspective of people who are a part of your community. When I started learning about business, when I started learning about entrepreneurship, when I started learning about investments, when I started learning about wealth building, when I started learning about a lot of things that I teach through platforms like this show, we're talking about 20 years ago, I didn't have a lot of prophetic circles of people who were teaching things about money, about finances, about business, about entrepreneurship, about investments, about real estate, which is what my wife and I have predominantly done for the past 18 years of our marriage. So what we had to do a lot of times is we had to go into the world. We had to go into secular circles, and we had to learn certain things about these areas of life in these industries. And then I had to bring that stuff back and figure out, well, how does this apply to me as a Christian? And if it applies to me as a Christian, because there were some things that I learned in the world about finances and money and business and hustling and entrepreneurship and wealth building that really doesn't work for people of God. So I said that to make sure you're clear on when you're gathering information about things regarding biblical economics, regarding financial literacy and entrepreneurship and business ownership and investments and wealth building, make sure you're gathering some of that information from people like me who can give you a prophetic perspective. Because if it's one thing I've learned, let me tell you something. When you are a prophet or when you are a Christian who is prophetic, which means you hear from God and you live your life in obedience to God, you realize that there are a lot of natural, normal, secular things that you learn and you become aware of that don't really fit your description of obedience. They don't even work within the context of your relationship with God. In other words, you could go to school, get you a degree, and when you finish that degree, God will be telling you, that ain't what I want you to do. And you're like, well, dawg, Lord, you should have told me that 4 years ago. Or you should have told me that 2 years ago. Or you should have told me that before I moved. Well, it's not like he didn't tell you. It's just that you may have not received a different perspective about that certain area of your life. So when you think of a mastermind group, I want you to think of a human system of networks that work together as inner circles of influence with multiple layers of relationships. So the basis of a mastermind is a human system of networks, which means you got to have the right people that you are coming together with. You have to have the right people that you're bringing together in your life, in your business, in your ministry, in your personal or even your professional endeavors. This is why it's important for you to not just understand, but for you to know how to integrate the mastermind group concept into your life, because a mastermind describes a human system of networks. So now here is what one philosopher said. If you want to know the type of person you're dealing with, look at the 5 closest people around them. So I don't even have to know you. I don't even have to know none of your business. I don't have to know who you are as a person, who you are in private, what type of attitude you have, what your strengths and weaknesses are. You know what I need to do? All I need to do is connect with the 5 closest people to you, and I'll find out everything I want to find out about you. If Ramonepreston is hiding one aspect of his life from you, if Ramonepreston is capping and flogging and fraudulently faking the front like he's somebody he ain't, guess what? It's okay. All you got to do is look at the 5 closest people around Prophet Ramone, because who they are is going to say everything about what type of person he is. So I want to know who are the 5 closest people you talk to every day. Who are the 5 closest people you tell a lot of your personal business to? Who are the 5 closest people you regularly go out to eat with outside of you doing business? I'm just talking about in your own personal life. That has a lot to do with you developing a successful and a sustainable mastermind group, because a mastermind, y'all, describes a human system of networks that work as inner circles of influence with multiple layers of relationships. So I'll break some of those details down, but let me keep moving. The primary purpose behind the concept of a mastermind is to collectively, you and other people, collectively bring together the minds of those who seek to master specific areas of their lives. Did you catch that? Let me say it again. The primary purpose behind the concept of the mastermind is for you to collectively bring together the minds, that's where the minds come in at, the minds of those who seek to master specific areas of their lives. So when you have a mastermind, it ain't you just calling your cuz and your sis and 3-4 people you know and be like, let's get together and do business. Let's get together and do something. Let's make something happen. That ain't no doggone mastermind. That's a bunch of fools getting together doing nothing. For real, you know it ain't. Because all we do is we bring people together that we think fit our description, but we don't understand it. We don't understand. We got to bring people together who have the minds to master certain things you all are collectively seeking to achieve. So for example, if I'm in real estate and I want to succeed in real estate and I need to get into doors in real estate, then I need to become a part of a mastermind group who have come together and who are collectively bringing their minds together so that they can master the game of real estate. I don't need to be talking to people who doing landscape. It just don't make sense unless I'm connecting it to one aspect of my business. But the foundation of my mastermind needs to be relative to the areas of my life or the area of my business or the area of my career that I want to collectively bring other minds together who are seeking to master that area. How many of y'all agree with me on that? So whatever the business is that you're in, whatever the career is that you're in, whatever the ministry is that you're in, whatever the type of business or career or ministry, whatever the temperament and personality of the type of people who fit into that business, that ministry, that industry, that career, those are the people that you need to come together with your mind so that you can all collectively seek to master that particular area. That's where the biblical scripture comes in at that says iron sharpens iron. Okay, iron sharpens iron. So if your business is like iron, if your career is like iron, if your ministry is like iron, if your nonprofit project or program or endeavor is like iron, then you have to connect with people who share the same values and views. This is one of the reasons why I don't understand. I am very nice and cordial towards people who are not saved. I love and respect people who are not in the church. I understand that I have to have relationships and I have to do business and I have to interact with people who are in the secular arena, but they ain't got to be a part of my mastermind group. These ain't the people I'm going to be just chilling with every day, sharing my dreams and my ideas and my strategies with, because they don't share the same views I share. They don't understand that I got to hear from God on some stuff too. They don't understand whatever information I'm receiving got to be connected to revelation I've already received. They don't understand that where they might want to hit the gas in this thing, God may be telling me to hit the brakes. So I got to be around people, masterminds, people whose minds are seeking to master a certain area of life. I got to be around people who could tell me, no, bruh, no, prophet, no, sir, no, ma'am, that ain't what you need to be leaning into. This is what you need to be leaning into, because this is what God is saying. This is so important, ladies and gentlemen, because we listen to everybody except the people we should be listening to. And then we find ourselves so confused, so discombobulated, Because guess what? We done lost our minds for the lack of having a true mastermind. So we want to fix that. We want to correct that. All right? Listen to this. As Christian individuals, as Christian entrepreneurs, as Christian ministry leaders, the biblical basis for our collective commonality, the biblical basis for you and I coming together with all things in common in a mastermind is found, watch this, in how we intentionally produce, preserve, and provide covenant relationships with certain people. I want you to catch what I just said. So there's a biblical basis to this concept called the mastermind group. There's a biblical basis to this. Because some of y'all always talking to people, you just shooting the breeze with them. Hey, what up? What you doing? Hey, girl, what's going on? Child, ain't nothing going on. Bro, what you doing? I ain't doing nothing. What up, dog? Hey, sis. These are just people you having random off the wall, shooting the breeze conversations with that you're building relationships with. But what you're not understanding is if you're building those type of relationships that are not beneficial, those relationships that are not profitable, and I'm not talking about profitable in terms of you making money. They're not profitable because they're not challenging you to grow. They're not making you think. They're not pushing you to be educated. They're not helping to change the narrative of your life. Those people are going to pull you down. Because you are not going to be in cahoots with losers and think you're going to remain a winner. I wish I had somebody right there. I wish I had somebody that can touch somebody and tell them, you can't hang with losers. Do y'all hear me on that? So if you want to be a part of a mastermind group, this ain't just something that you just trying to Google and go on somebody's social media platform to see what circle you can get into. A lot of them circles don't even fit you. A lot of them circles, there are people right now who listen to people every day that have nothing to do with where they're going. So I'm very selective in who I listen to. I'm very selective in what I listen to. I'm very selective in who I deal with on a real personal and a real professional level. I'm very particular with that. I'm very specific with that. Because guess what? I'm not finna just let people who don't share commonality with me feed me with stuff that causes me to get confused. See, you have no idea how your subconscious takes in information. And then it's like a week or two or 3 or 4, maybe a month or 2 away, certain things start happening and you like, man, where did this come from? Why is this mess going on in my life? And why am I thinking like this? And where did that idea come from? Where did this strange behavior come from? It came from conversations you had 6 months ago. It came from people you were in cahoot with 3 weeks ago. And your subconscious gravitated towards it because your subconscious was like a sponge. And now you all throw it off trying to figure out why you can't move forward. Every time we talk with you, you confused about life. You don't know if you coming or going. It's because you have not contextualized your life through a concept called mastermind. You got to contextualize your life. You got to contextualize your life. You got to bring your life together. And the easiest way or the closest door to get into to bring your life together is the door or the gateway of a mastermind group. Finding people who share the same common values spiritually, the same common values economically. There are a lot of people that I really love. I'm going to tell y'all this because I know some of y'all can feel me on this. There are a lot of people I really love that I have the utmost respect for, that are very near and dear to me, that I would dare not ever call their name out in public, embarrass them, or make a mock out of them. But when it comes to me listening to them or taking advice from them or sharing the same values and views economically, we on 2 different pages. Because they don't want what I want economically. They don't see the need to have money. I'm talking about Christian people, church people who love God, who are extremely anointed and prophetic, but they don't share the values and views that I have when it comes to financial freedom and economics and entrepreneurship and business. All they want to do is have church. All they want to do is shout. All they want to do is speak in tongues. And guess what? To each your own. Find you a group of people who want to shout, who want to have church, who want to speak in tongues. But I'm going to have church too. I'm going to shout too. I'm going to speak in tongues too. But I'm going to build a multi-billion-dollar business. I'm going to raise up millionaires. I'm going to help a lot of families get to their financial next level. I'm going to help create generational wealth. I'm going to make sure that there are legacies of wealth in this world through the vehicle of the platforms and the influence and the information that God has given to me. And there are a lot of people who love God, who appreciate me on other levels, that don't want to have nothing to do with me. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. If I was on here prophesying, it'll be 150 people on this live. True, right? It's a whole lot of people that know me. I see 4 people on this one. I don't know how many people on YouTube. But I'm just showing you, and I'm not offended by that. Because it doesn't really matter to me, because none of this is going to change the outcome of my success and of my life. I'm just making a point. The reason why a lot of people who personally know me, I'm talking about, I have been in ministry for 21 years full time. I've never had a scandal, right? I've never cheated on my wife. I've never ran out on my family. I've never disrespected my family. I've never disrespected the church, the ministry, the character of Christ. I'm showing y'all something for a reason. Let me be the guinea pig. This is what I be trying to tell a lot of y'all who do follow me. Stop listening to me and start watching what I do. Start looking at a person's life and saying, wait a minute, I don't see Prophet Ramone moving like that. Right. I don't see Prophet Ramone doing that kind of stuff. I don't see Prophet Ramone in every circle, around all types of people. And just because people don't see it, some people think I don't have access to it. Some people think I don't know people. Some people think I'm just some lost prophet on the side, on the backside of the desert. I know a lot of people, but the thing of it is, a lot of people I know and a lot of people that know me are not in alignment with what my beliefs are when it comes to certain things that I do. So guess what? I'm not going to be around a whole lot of preachers and a whole lot of ministers and a whole lot of church people who have made sense of being broke, who have made sense of defending their poverty, who have made sense of being convinced that the more money you get, the more exposure you get, the less humble you become. It's stupid. So we're not going to be in alignment. The only people you're going to see me with in public are people who are in alignment with the values and views that I share. So there are a lot of amazing people. I'm saying this for a reason, because a lot of y'all, you hang around people and you talk to people who don't want nothing. They're okay being broke. And even if they're not okay being broke, they have made sense of being broke. They have made sense of not having enough. They have made sense of not going the extra mile. Well, that ain't what God's will is. Whatever the Lord will, that ain't got nothing to do with God's will. Well, the Lord willing, my business is going to take off. All right, the Lord willing. That sounds good in theory. I'm showing y'all how important the mastermind is. So as Christian individuals, let me go through this again. As Christian entrepreneurs, as Christian ministers, the biblical basis for our collective commonality, there is a biblical basis for our commonality, our collective agreement in a mastermind. This is found in how we come together and intentionally do a few things: produce, preserve, and provide certain covenant relationships with certain groups of people. See, I already know when people don't reach out to me, when people don't call me, when people don't talk to me, when people start ignoring me, I already know what the problem is. They don't want to produce. They don't want to preserve. They don't want to provide covenant relationships. They're not willing to do the work. So when I hear people, oh, I'm ready, they huffing and puffing like they just ready to go to the next level. I'm with you, prophet. We finna go to the next level. Child boo. but I don't see him no more. So just because I don't see results doesn't mean I'm not going to show up. Because if I don't show up, watch this, I got enough people around me who share the same mind that want to seek certain areas of life to master. They're going to challenge me. Even if they don't say anything to me, just me knowing that they're in my life is going to hold me accountable. All right? So there are three layers of a successful mastermind that I want to give y'all real quick. 3 layers. 3 layers. And again, some of y'all have to start realizing that it's the people you're talking to on a daily basis that's causing you to lose. You have to understand that your subconscious works that way. Your subconscious works that way. A lot of people, and I'll say it publicly, a lot of people be like, dawg, we can't never get in touch with you. People call me all the time, and I ain't no shame in my game, because number one, I'm not finna just be on the phone talking about nothing.
Wow.
I'm not just finna be wasting my time. My time is valuable. I wasted the first 21 years of my life in the streets, getting high every day, being a loser, going in and out of jail, living like an idiot, a sinner for 21 years. The first 21 years of my life, I've been saved 23 years. The first 21 years of my life, I ruined. I gave to the system, I gave to the streets, I gave to addiction, I gave to the game. And guess what? For the last 23 years, I've been working as diligent and as strategic and as godly as I possibly can to make the most of the time that I have. I'm finna give y'all a scripture before I give y'all these 3 layers of a successful mastermind. Because some of y'all, you just wasting time. You just wasting time. And the reason why you wasting time is because you're around people who have already wasted theirs. And you don't want to be held accountable and get around people who gonna get on your behind. There you go. I knew it was gonna come somewhere. Every show I gotta say that, don't I? Every show I gotta say you're behind. Yeah. Because see, you're not gonna call me every day. Number one, if you're calling me every day and you can't get me, it's because me and you are not in alignment on something.
Yeah, that's good.
Now, I'll give you 1 or 2 chances, but mess around, let me answer that phone, or mess around, let me see you, or mess around, let me meet with you, and you talking nonsense. That's going to be your last. How many times do I tell you that? When I talk to people or meet with people, I'll come back or I tell you that I sold that hour into them. That's an hour I sold into them, or that's 20 minutes they got. They won't get no more of them. Because I don't have time to play. I don't have time to waste my life, because I want to be around people who have a collective commonality that want to do something for themselves and for their children and their grandchildren and their siblings and their family. I got too many people who need me to be successful. So that means I have to put myself in an ecosystem with people who, they don't have to be greater than me. They don't have to have more than me, but they at least have to be in alignment with what my beliefs are. So I'm not going to be hanging around preachers who always talking about, yeah, don't take all that. Yeah, because God don't want you to be that rich now. All these little prosperity preachers, you know, they talk that idiotic talk. I don't hang around people like that. I don't hang around preachers like that. I guarantee you, if it's preachers like that, talking like that, I don't hang around them. I don't deal with them. Christians, anybody I'm not dealing with like that. Because they have already made sense of where they are and they're defending where they are. Let me give y'all the scripture. It's Ephesians chapter 5. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 17. Nope. Verse 15. Verse 15 and 16. Oh my God, this is one of my favorite scriptures. When I read this for the first time, oh my God, it's been a long time ago, but when I first read it, I was like, woo! Because see, when I got started as a Christian in ministry, I got started reading like the Amplified version, the Message Bible, the Living Bible, and definitely the King James Version, but I used to always study and read. And here's what it says, Ephesians 5, verse 15. Paul, the apostle, says, hey guys, look carefully then how you walk. He says, I want you to look carefully at how you walk. Look at your Christian walk. He says, I want you to live purposefully and worthily and accurately, not as the unwise and witless, the idiots, stupid, but as wise, sensible, intelligent people. So Paul is saying in verse 15, you need to pay attention to your walk. Don't just always pay attention to your talk, right? He says you need to pay attention to your walk like a wise person and not like an idiot. Here's verse 16. He says, and here's how you do this. So verse 15, he's telling you what to do. Verse 16, he's telling you how to actually pay attention to your walk. How do I pay attention to my walk? By making the very most of the time. By buying up each opportunity because the days are evil. So that's how I pay attention to my walk. I pay attention to my walk by making the most of my time. Not giving all my time away, lurking on social media and ain't producing nothing. Not giving all my time talking to people who ain't going, child, what you doing today? What you did this week? Just I don't have time for that. Because biblically, I cannot afford to not make the most of my time, especially when I'm looking carefully at my walk. I have things that I have to do. I have things that I need to accomplish. So I got to walk a certain way and be around a certain group of people. Here are the 3 layers of a successful mastermind. These are the 3 types of people you need in your life, all right? Number 1, the first layer is made up of those who lead you and feed you. Man, I'm giving y'all game today. If you want to have a mastermind, if you want to be a part of a mastermind, here are the 3 layers that's going to make that mastermind up. If you want to have people that are around you that are in alignment with you, here is how you do it. It starts with the first layer. The first layer is you got to have people around you who lead you and feed you. So that means you need a pastor, right?
Yes.
Let me just give you some explanation to this. The first layer is those who lead you and feed you. Those who lead you and feed you. If every time you got an idea for a business, if every time you trying to get out the game and get to the next level, if every time you got some type of concept that you want to create, or some type of business you want to birth, or a move you want to make, and every time you share it with the 5 closest people around you, and if all of them or most of them are always talking about, girl, now you know good and well you ain't gonna be able to do that. How they gonna give you them days off? Child, you know that ain't gonna never happen. You know what grandma said about them folks now. When you start hearing that kind of language, guess what it's telling you? You're not around the right people when it comes to those things that you have in your heart that you want to accomplish. I'm not saying you're not going to be held accountable. I'm not saying people can't correct you. But if that's all you getting fed is information by people who know nothing, come on. I'm not finna let nobody fill my ear whose mouths are full of words and they have empty heads. I ain't finna let an empty head with a mouthful of words fill my ear up. Their heads are empty. So the first layer of a mastermind are those who lead you and feed you. You gotta have these kind of people in your life. And if you're stingy, if you're selfish, if you don't like to invest in yourself, if you don't like to pay to play sometimes, especially in business, then guess what? You're never gonna have a mastermind. You're never gonna be a part of a successful mastermind. Those who lead you and feed you, these are the Pauls, we're talking about Apostle Paul, or the Paulettes of your life. These are men and women that you bring in your life as mentors, as models, as coaches, and as consultants to lead you and feed you, particularly in the areas that you seek to master. Well, I want to have a business. I want to own a successful business. I want to be a millionaire. Well, who's mentoring you, modeling you? Who's coaching and consulting you that has actually done it? You can't have people broke as you and don't want more than what you got to be telling you. Girl, this is what you need to do. Well, bro, what I think you might need to do, well, woman of God or man of God, I believe, and I'll say this too, my wife is one of those exceptional people because my wife is in business as well. Even though she's a pastor, she's in business. But if you have a pastor and your pastor is not in business, your pastor does not really believe in financial prosperity, your pastor does not believe in getting the bag and creating something for yourself, then you've got to be very mindful, respectfully, how you take information from that pastor or church leaders and church people or prayer warriors or prayer partners or brothers and sisters in Christ when they don't have the same values and views in that particular area. It's just like somebody unhealthy just because they saved trying to give you advice on how to be healthy. How they gonna give you advice? And they eat junk all day. I'm not listening to somebody who eats crap all day and they trying to tell me what I need to eat. Now you know you need lettuce while they eating tater chips. Yeah, you know you need to eat, you know you need to drink water while they drinking beer. I mean, come on. For real, for real? No, dog. They eating edible, you know, little weed edibles. They eating weed edibles telling you that you just need to stay sober. Come on. They're not walking what they're talking. So if you want to be a part of a mastermind, you got to make sure that you have people in your life, men and women, who can lead you and feed you. And preferably, these are people who can lead you and feed you, particularly in the areas you seek to master. So if you seek to be financially free, then guess what? You need to be mentored by modeled, you need to be mentored by and have someone to model and coach and consult you who is financially free, or at least who has the keys to get financially free, or the relationships. This is what I say to a lot of pastors and ministry leaders who really don't have that and they don't really want that. I know a lot of pastors and ministers who really just don't want to get into the money game and the business game, but at least facilitate that. At least bring people in to help your people. Don't keep your people broke and bound, but then you want to beat them across the head to give you something. Give them an opportunity to learn something. So you need mentors, you need models, you need coaches, and you need consultants. A lot of you right now, we've been talking about this, daughter, for the last couple weeks. This is one of the reasons why I'm putting this 1-year coaching program together, because I've realized that there are a lot of people who, they mean well, they really want to do better, but they need a coach. They can't just get the game plan or a playbook and be put on the field. They need accountability. They need a coach on the sideline. And this is one of the reasons why I put this coaching program together. I'm going to talk about that later. So that's the first layer of a successful mastermind. The second layer of a successful mastermind is made up of those who walk and work with you. So you got one layer of people who lead and feed you. These are mentors. These are leaders. These are people you're looking up to. These are people that can put you in your place and put you in check. And you're going to continue to respect and honor them. These are pastors and mentors and leaders and feeders and models and coaches and consultants. So if you're in business, it might not necessarily be a pastor. It may be a coach or a consultant. If you really want your business to grow and you're stuck, you got to pay to get people to help you. I don't understand what's so hard about that. I mean, we just had an awesome strategy meeting yesterday with a group of people, right?
We did.
Two companies that were represented in that group.
It was really good.
Shout out to both of them. But guess what? It ain't like I'm asking them to give me all of this support for free.
Exactly.
I'm also asking them, what are the costs associated to you doing that?
Yes.
So at least I can make the decision if I'm going to pay it or if I ain't. But I'm not going to ask you to do all of that and I ain't willing to do nothing.
Exactly.
Come on, I don't know what you know.
That's good.
But guess what? You don't know what I know. So if you want what I got, you need to pay for that. And it goes the same way. So if you got a business, especially if you're an entrepreneur and you got issues in certain areas of your business and you don't know how to scale it, you don't know how to get your products off the ground, you don't know how to sell, you don't know how to market, you gotta pay, dog. You gotta pay, boo. This is how you get yourself into masterminds, groups, so that you can have mentors and models and coaches and consultants. There is not a company, at least I have studied. I've never studied a company, a successful company, and I'm talking about Fortune 100 companies, Fortune 500 companies. I'm gonna name a couple that's on the top. Microsoft is on the top. Apple is $1 trillion company. Amazon is $1 trillion company. And both of those $1 trillion companies, guess what they do every year? They earmark or allocate certain dollars, and we're talking about tens of billions of dollars for these two companies. They earmark a certain amount of money, tens of billions of dollars, just for research, just for development, just for consultants, just for coaches. Wow. They make sure their top executives have coaches, have education, get the training, they do research and development. In other words, they spend money to get better at what they're doing in business. Most high performers that you meet, we're talking about celebrities and people who are like really big, they're paying companies to be put in those positions. And we got other people in the church, especially church people, I ain't finna be compromising. I ain't gonna have to pay my way. Well, you're gonna just stay stuck and broke. That's where they're gonna stay at. But if that's not you, you gotta put yourself in alignment with people who understand what needs to be done to get to where you're going. It's simple as that. I got so many examples, I ain't even gonna get to them all. The second layer of successful mastermind are those who walk and work with you. Okay? These are the Barnabases or the Barnabas or the Barbaras. These are your colleagues. These are people who are considered to be your partners, your associates, your colleagues, and your classmates. Not to lead and feed you. These are the ones who walk and work with you, particularly in the areas you seek to master. These are your brothers and sisters in your faith and in your business who says, you know what, I'm gonna come along with you for the ride because I see you doing similar to what I'm doing. Like some of you that have been a part of some of our mastermind sessions or our boot camps that we have hosted, we actually use those mastermind sessions and those boot camps to give y'all platforms to create your own masterminds. So here is one person who is good at sales, and then she's a part of a group, and one of the people in the group is good at marketing. Guess what they need to do? They need to come together as colleagues and say, wow, you're good at marketing, I'm good at sales, let's work together. Give me an opportunity so that I can provide marketing to through my company the right way, and give you an opportunity you could provide sales through your company the right way. That's a mastermind. These are people who walk and work with you. You need those kind of people. So if you're trying to get in business and you're working on a job, you can't have everybody who's working on a job around you trying to give you advice. They don't know how to transition. So you need people who are already in business. You need people who, like you, who have a desire to get in business. And guess what? The last layer are those who follow and feed from you. These are your Timothys or Tashas. These are followers, friends, customers, and clients who follow and feed from you now, particularly in the areas you seek to master. That means you got people who want to look up to you and say, girl, what you did to do that? Well, this is what I'm doing. I need your help in that area. Now, all of a sudden, you got a mentor, you got a coach, you got a consultant, but then you got a colleague, you got associates, you got partners who are working and walking with you along with the people who are leading you and feeding you, and then you got the people who are following and feeding from you. So now every time you get, you giving it. So when people are asking you, how did you save that $1,000? Well, let me show you how I did it. Here's what you need to do. How you was able to get to the next level. This is how I did it. This is how you build a successful mastermind. So those are the 3 layers, ladies and gentlemen, of a successful mastermind. Number 1, those who lead and feed you. These are mentors, models, coaches, and consultants. Number 2, those who walk and work with you. These are your partners, your associates, your colleagues, and your classmates. And number 3, we have those who follow and feed from you. These are those who follow and feed from you. We're talking about the followers, the friends, the customers, and the clients. They want to learn what you know. You need to start looking at some of your customers and clients like they are following you and feeding from you, so you can start sharing more with them. So I hope y'all learned something in this discussion centered around the question, are you part of a mastermind group? I want to encourage all of y'all to join a mastermind group and be a part of a mastermind group. As a matter of fact, if you see the screen behind me, we're in the process of launching a 12-month coaching program. I've been pushing it, and once I close this offer, it's going to be closed. But this 12-month coaching program is an extension of our 90-day coaching program. For the last several months since we launched our 90-day coaching program, I mean, just a few people who have been a part of it, we've had some success. And it's been amazing. And so what I decided to do, talking to my team and really strategizing on how we can help our clients and other people more efficiently and effectively, we decided collectively to come together and to take our 90-day coaching program and extend it for 1 year for the same price. So we're basically going to be giving a 90-day program price, but we're going to give you 4 90-day coaching programs. So we're putting together an exclusive 12-month coaching program for an exclusive group of people. So it's not like anybody that calls just going to be a part of it, because we're going to vet you. There's going to be an assessment form that you have to fill out. There's going to be some paperwork that we're going to give you that you're going to have to sign for your commitment. And of course, there are costs associated to it, but we're using this 12-month coaching program to really help people get to 6 figures. That's my goal, to get a group of people to 6 figures a year through their profession, through their business, through their ministry, whatever their organizational structure is, and to give them all the assistance that they need. But one of the things that we're going to have in our 1-year schedule, we're putting together a whole schedule for a year. One of the things that we're going to have in our schedule is going to be mastermind groups. So we're actually going to bring everyone who's a part of our coaching program together throughout the course of this 1-year schedule. Of course, there are going to be some one-on-ones. I'll be sitting down one-on-one with everyone individually, but we're going to have some group mastermind sessions to really get all entrepreneurs to integrate and work together and to build a solid mastermind ecosystem. So that's going to be one of the biggest perks of our coaching program. So if you are interested in being a part of this exclusive, it's exclusive. I mean, it's really exclusive. Matter of fact, if you ain't even got to believe me, go to Ramonepreston.com right now. Go to Ramonepreston.com right now. And when you go there, I want you to click on coaching. Don't we have a link for coaching on there? I want you to go to coaching. Let me see. Let me find Ramonepreston.com. Behind me right here. Do we have coaching? We don't have coaching. So if you go to Ramonepreston.com, yes, we do. It's down here on the bottom, I think. Yep. If you go to Ramonepreston.com, All you have to do is click on RP University, and it'll take you to a link that says 90-day coaching program. So you can see this exclusive 1-year program that we've put together is not even available yet. It's not even on the market. So you actually have to text the word coaching to me in order for us to get you on the list so that we can go through the preliminary process of signing you up. If you would like to be a part of this coaching program. So I wanted to show you that because if you went to my platform right now to sign up for coaching, you're going to sign up for a 90-day coaching program because there's no such thing as a year program on there, because this is something exclusive that we're doing to an exclusive group of people. And when I say exclusive, I mean exclusive. I'm not just going to be coaching scrubs. I'm not just going to be around here like on an NFL level teaching people, and I'm dealing with Pop Warner people who playing like football in the backyard. That ain't what we're doing. I'm not going to be an NFL coach walking to somebody's backyard and coaching 3 or 4 people who never put on pads and played the game. So anyway, if you want to be a part of it, all you have to do is text the word coaching to 404-478-7213. Text the word coaching to 404-478-7213. And of course, if you have not been introduced to our signature, world-class, #1 online virtual education and training program called the Blueprint Game Plan. This is our 5-step wealth building system. You see it behind me right there. It's our 5-step wealth building system. We use these 5 steps to walk you through the online virtual education and training programs that we have to teach you the most important things about financial literacy, about entrepreneurship, business ownership, investments, and family legacy wealth building. If you would like to join our Blueprint Game Plan program and get immediate access to it, all you have to do is text "I'm ready" to 404-478-7213. I love y'all. Thank all of you for being a part of the Ramonepreston show today. I hope you learned something about the concept of a mastermind group, what it is, how it works, how it looks in your life, and what you need to do to create one for yourself, and the kind of people that you need to be a part of it. We will be back tomorrow with an amazing discussion. Remember, every Monday through Friday at 12 o'clock p.m., we use the Ramonepreston show, this platform, to teach you the most important things about financial literacy, entrepreneurship, business ownership, investments, and wealth building. That is a part of my prophetic assignment in this season, to bring economic deliverance to the people of God. The Bible says in the book of Hosea, chapter 12, verse 13, by a prophet, Israel was delivered, not just spiritually, but also economically. By a prophet, Israel was preserved. What you say, daughter?
Ashley said, "Love you, Apostle. You gave me a lot to think about."
Thank you so much, Ashley. I love y'all. Please, if you have not been to YouTube, please make your way over to YouTube. Shout out to all of my YouTube tribe members, family members, followers, friends, subscribers. I love y'all so much. We get such a great response. We get so many questions and so much feedback. Literally, we get an overwhelming amount of feedback, and we get a lot of questions and responses, and calls and emails and texts from those who watch on social media generally, but definitely on YouTube. So if you're on Facebook, if you're on Twitch, if you're on Periscope, Twitter, LinkedIn, or any other platform, make sure that you go to YouTube. We have a lot of content on there. We have hundreds and hundreds of videos teaching you everything from prophetic ministry to starting churches, to building a business, to launching your own for-profit, nonprofit. We teach you financial literacy. We have a lot of content that we drop on there on a regular basis. So I love y'all, and I'll see y'all tomorrow at 12 o'clock.